Good morning, everybody. Come on out. And welcome to the Cups and Bowls show. We have a very special episode coming to you today. We're here in the city of San Francisco, California. And you can tell, hopefully, because you should be able to see the Sutro Tower in the background of the shot. And in Instagram, it might be a little blurry because of the lighting that we have going on. But if you're on Facebook, you can see it pretty well. Only we are a little bit shady. Oh, the joys of live streaming on the fly. So we're here today at the Cups and Bowls show. I'm JP Fosad, and this is Ambreezy. We're your hosts, and we have a special guest with us today. We have Mo.
Hi.
She's our friend in the city, and she's spontaneously joining us for this on-the-fly live stream out and about on the road in the city. I know that the last show was like over a week ago, and we had promised you guys some extra special content and some secrets about what we were doing that was super special. Remember, I promised you that I would expose a super secret that we had, and the super secret was that we were going to travel somewhere that I couldn't tell you until we were there. Well, Can you tell I've had a cup of coffee yet already?
Just one?
There wasn't enough Wi-Fi to be able to broadcast from South Lake Tahoe. We were in South Lake Tahoe for a few days, and we definitely got to do some drone flying and some hiking and exploring and adventuring. And we got to visit Benko Art Gallery right there on the 50, just next to Applebee's, across the street from Rayleigh's and some other art galleries. Benko Art Gallery in South Lake Tahoe is a beautiful, beautiful gallery. They have such a diverse range of art, and we have the privilege of being among some of the art exhibited at Benko Art Gallery in South Lake Tahoe. So if you guys end up making it to Tahoe, the lake's beautiful, the mountains are wonderful, but you've got to go check out Benko Art Gallery because it just brings the whole experience together. They have everything from local art to just different painters, sculptors, there's jewelry. I mean, the wire wraps are absolutely incredible. And I mean, if you get a chance, you could always check out some of our art that's in the gallery if you wanted to. I mean, you know, it's not necessary, but it's cool. It's our art. We do it. I know not all of you on Facebook appreciate it. Probably not any of you who watch our show, but some of you who leave the nasty, mean, hateful comments that I totally relish in. Because, I mean, if you're hating it that much, at least it's affecting you. And if it's affecting you, then we have at least partially accomplished our goal. You know, because part of art isn't just to be beautiful and isn't just to be appreciated, but to be affecting. I like to affect people with my art. So whether you hate it or love it, if it's affecting you, I'm succeeding. So thank you. I forgot to turn off the volume on my phone. So, I mean, I don't know if you want to hit the volume. I'll do it real quick. And I don't know if you all see me wielding this funny cartridge-looking thing in my hand here. But I know it's called Cups and Bowls, and you know we have a bowl over here. I just haven't packed it yet. But I wanted to say these are some of our favorite vape cartridges. I don't know if I've showed you these before. They're completely and totally petroleum-free products. There's no petroleum used in the making of this concentrate. It is totally CO2. It's carbon dioxide, which means it's petroleum-free. Petroleum-free means that you're not contributing to the nasty oil business that's depleting our earth of its resources and polluting, killing us all. So if you want to check out some really nice non-petroleum carts that are made using CO2 and taste excellent and are like way up in the high 90s, I'd probably say like 98, 99% plus THC, check out CO Dude Labs. They're on Instagram. I don't know if they're on Facebook, but CO Dude Labs, we found them at Sacktown Super Sesh in Sacramento. Yes, we really appreciate Sacktown Super Sesh. We love vending our art there. We love just going there for the experience. The last time we went, there was fire poi, and it was just really exclusive in this intimate backyard setting. Like, it was a great little walkthrough. You walk down one side, and you get to check it out, and you walk down the other side, and then there's some other little crevices that you can check out, some booths in. So I encourage you all to check out CO Dude Labs cartridges, petroleum free, made with CO2 at Sacktown Super Sesh. Betty is amazing. Go check out her Instagram. Go show up to the Sacktown Super Sesh event. It blows the dispensary scene out of the fucking water. You know, like, remember when it was medical and we were just like doing Prop 215 and there was no Prop 64? This is what the smoke sessions remind me of. Like, people who actually care about cannabis, people who actually care about people using cannabis. This is the cannabis culture that we are losing and is rapidly dying as it turns into the cannabis industry, regulated and red taped by bureaucracy and profit-driven monstrous elitists who are just trying to squash every boutique grow and arrest every possible person who put themselves out there to make the cannabis what it is and accept it today. I mean, we just watched the Eddie Lepp show the other day. That was fantastic. If you wanna really get to know somebody who has a real experience for what's happening to cannabis culture, turning into cannabis industry, you should go check out Eddie Lepp. And if you don't know who he is, find out who he is, because Eddie Lepp has an amazing podcast. His co-host Damon Bates is just extremely knowledgeable and experienced in the business. Both Eddie and Damon both have just these incredibly real and holistic experiences that offer the dark side and the light side of cannabis progress. And they're doing great. I think that people like Eddie and Damon really need to get their stories out there so that people can understand what's really going on with the legislation of cannabis. And we really look forward to seeing the next Eddie Lepp show because of all the great information that we got from last show, and just learning little bits about Eddie and Damon and their experiences in the industry as we get to watch their show is just super enlightening. And not only that, it's kind of given us some ideas and pointers on ways that we can improve and change the way that we do our show. One of the things that I want to do before we get too deep in this, and before I pack a bowl, is introduce myself a little bit, which we didn't do the last couple shows, and I think is probably like a really important section.
I'm pretty sure, because I heard
Here we go.
the garage door
This one is
notification.
going.
Usually that means he's sneaking out the garage door.
Can I set it here?
Yep.
Or do you need?
Oh,
I'm just checking.
it's working.
Oh, okay, wait. Live here. Go ahead, just use your phone since you're already live.
Thank you.
And we're back live with the Sutro Tower in the background.
Yay!
And we're focused too.
Hey.
Back on Instagram and Facebook. And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself with a bowl of do-si-do.
Hi, live internet. My name is Amber. I'm 28. I agreed to do the Cup and Bowl show to really shine light on the cannabis legislation evolution and also share a bit of my story and testimony of how it has changed my life and a lot of people who I loved. Cannabis helped me beat tobacco addiction and also helped me through alcoholism. I have eternity to be grateful for the sacred plant that is medicine, and we are here to really shed light on the positivity that is coming through.
Well, we're live back on Facebook.
Yay! Did it, guys.
Yeah, Yet I'm sitting here smoking this bowl, drinking coffee, trying to remember where we left off.
Our friendship is going to extend further despite the unfortunate where we live.
We are ascending. We continue to ascend constantly. These guys, Mo and Wes, they are working on a very special super secret project. I don't know how super secret it is. I'm going to say it's super secret because it's not my project, so it's not my project to tell you about. But really cool stuff in the works that they've been telling us about, and we're just really super excited to see them finally have the opportunity to really pursue their intentions. And we're excited for all of you guys to eventually get to start to realize the intentions and potentials that they share with us.
I want everybody to reach that potential. Like, you are not your job. That is not your life. That's not your whole life. That's not all you're about.
Yeah, you should not be your job. Your job should be you.
Well, your job should be an extension of you,
right?
In some way, like you
right.
should believe in what you're doing, what you're producing, what you're putting out there, not just doing it because you have to or your back's against the wall. So I'm so tired of evil corporations. Just period. Like, that's not what America was about.
It is a statement about your character, what it is you're willing to do for your job. What's that famous quote we keep hearing recently? Every war criminal says, just doing my job.
Yeah.
Just doing my job.
Just following orders.
Just following orders.
That's wrong.
Enough of that shit, people. Enough of that shit. You know, we've been watching this show. It's a really cool show. It's kind of different than a lot of shows. And there's like an old film, like a book?
The Dark Crystal.
The Dark Crystal, based on a book?
Based off of Brian Proud's artwork that they turned, and then they wrote a story.
Okay.
And then it turned into, colossal movie.
If you guys ever have the opportunity to check out the film The Dark Crystal, I strongly suggest it. It definitely touches on some social issues.
That was 1982. The original Dark Crystal came out, and we're still dealing with that same shit.
It's like watching that movie with Eddie Murphy of Trading Places. Yeah, it's like I watched Trading Places, and some of the topics that they go over and things they touch on in that film, and I'm like, this was that long ago, and we're still here. Like, people haven't got a clue about what's really going on with humanity and the system that we're living in. Like,
I think it's the same. We still. I'm like, no, we haven't evolved past that yet.
Nobody's
grown up.
It's all fear and violence.
It's over it, man.
But so we've been watching this show that came out on Netflix, The Dark Crystal, and from what I understand, it's like a prequel or something to the movie The Dark Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of binge watched what we could here and there since we don't have Netflix anymore. Usually it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But wait, who's? I'm not getting there. We just finished the first season, the only season that's been released so far, last night, and I feel like if everyone were to just kind of sit down and take a look at that season and accept the metaphor and symbology going on in the show for what it is and how it applies to what's going on in our world right now, even with what is it, SB 267? Is it SB 267? There is this there is something, a law that's so ridiculous. I just don't even know where to start.
That's the vaccinations.
The vaccinations, and apparently are no 267 is not the vaccination.
Where's the article you were reading?
Okay, well, a friend of mine on Instagram had posted this morning. Let me go find her post.
Is it SB 27?
Why can't I find?
So,
this is pretty ridiculous right now.
So the law about.
Okay, you know what? I'll do this a different way. It's about vaccinations.
So there was a law recently passed regarding the vaccinations.
237.
So in order to decline a vaccination, you have to have a medical release. And with the new law,
why am I fucking this up right now?
I'm pretty sure what you had said earlier was that if a doctor allowed someone to not receive a vaccine, then that would go before a panel of judges to review.
SB 276. Okay. I'm not going to claim to completely understand SB 276 about vaccines in California, but this is what I got from reading some of the legislation when I had originally looked into this. Basically, right now, supposedly you can get a doctor's note that exemplifies your child from having to get vaccines, especially in regards to going to school and stuff. But what they're doing is they're now going to require every doctor's recommendation against vaccines. They're going to put it in front of a panel, and the panel is going to decide whether or not that doctor's judgment is sound. So what they're doing is they're, for one, giving a doctor a degree saying that in medicine they have a say, and then saying, because what you're saying doesn't agree with our legislation, we're now going to put the degree that we gave you that you in medicine in action, and we are going to have another body of individuals who are more lenient, who are more supportive and biased to the regulations and the legislation, review that doctor's recommendation, which is completely avoiding our medical system and any validity that any doctor in California has to do their job, but is also putting you and your family at risk. Because if your doctor writes you a recommendation and this board does not approve it, that doctor is then in question and accountable for legal consequences for writing that recommendation that this board doesn't.
Bullying.
Oh,
it's
yes.
Sophisticated bullying. They're basically just saying, get vaccines or we're going to make your life really hellacious.
Bureaucratic bullying, and you wonder why people are shooting up schools because they got bullied. You know, well, if someone's going to shoot up school because they got bullied, and then the government's going to bully everyone else, well, you know what? They'll be surprised how long people stand for it. And this is what's happening right now with this specific vaccine bill, is people have had it. And we all encourage everyone who's had it with this government, the adult population, basically the government telling us that we are not capable of this making decisions ourselves and deciding what's good or bad for ourselves, which I mean basically is taking away our human rights. What is the Bill of Rights or the Constitution even good for if the government just decides what we can and can't dictate for ourselves? I encourage everyone personally to be civilly disobedient and be passively resistant until the point that they are pushed to a state of self-defense, and at which time everyone to take the peaceful action of defending yourself, because the act of self-defense is not violence, but is actually preserving the peace. It is these encroachments of law, such as this vaccine bill, that is violence. It is of government regulation over our personal freedoms that is the violence. And the only way to stop this violence, restore a state, is to defend ourselves by any means necessary. And if that means removing the authorities that be from power, then so be it. I say we stand and we fight with every bit of life and breath that we have for what little freedom we're being allowed left before taken from us forever. The more sacrifice for a perception of security and less opportunity we're going to have to preserve whatever freedoms are left at the end. If we don't start standing up for ourselves by any means necessary now, who's going to stand up for whoever's left? If we haven't learned the lessons from history, then when are we going to learn? If we don't learn, we're going to be stuck in this state of evolution, cycling round and round with violence, no different from the animal kingdom or the plants. No higher, no more evolved, no more progressed. We're going to continue to destroy each other. We're going to continue to destroy our world until we start thinking about what matters to us, not towing a party line, not worrying about what other people are going to think about what we feel is right for ourselves, but feeling what's right for ourselves, admitting it to ourselves, and being real about it, and taking action on it. Because if we keep letting ourselves be bullied by things like this vaccine bill, then we're all going to get wiped out. And mark my words, you can call me a conspiracy theorist, but all that is justification for your ignorance and your inaction. Because it's your ignorance and your inaction and your declaration of conspiracy theories that will be your own demise. And when the authorities are sitting on your face with the bottom of their boots, you'll remember my words and my face warning you about it. So either take action or shut the fuck up and get out of the way for us who are willing to. Because we'll not stand for being bullied and pushed around. Even the good families, all the peaceful people, they won't stand for it. Nobody wants violence. Nobody wants to have to defend themselves from violence. But if we have to, that's because we're human beings, and it's what we've done before law, it's what we've done before government, it's what we've done before currency or plumbing or any of the conveniences that keep us in check today. Mm-hmm. The human race will fight and defend itself to continue to survive, even if it is attacked from within itself. And those who stay true to their heart, who listen to their heart, to do what it takes to follow their heart, will be the ones who will survive. Will survive to pass on the truth of the human race and the truth of nature. That the only constant is change. And that these authorities trying to clamp down and prevent growth and progress and stupefy us with their injections and polluting our air and polluting our water and feeding us GMOs, trying to starve us to death, causing us to have to eat more than we need to eat just to get nutrients and nutrients to survive. We are being attacked from every angle in life. And to whoever is sick and tired of my rant, I apologize for turning this show into a long, non-cups and bowls, coffee drinking, bowl smoking show. But I don't know, maybe I've had something to get off my chest for a while. And maybe these posts by people who I see who aren't controversial and who don't usually stand and point out the shit going on. I see people who are really just trying to live their lives and stay in line and not rock the boat. These are the people that are posting about this bullying now. And when I see this, I feel like it's really time for something to get done. It's really time for people to start waking up and acting. And if they don't start doing that, they are taking control, and they're convincing everyone that they have to vote for these two parties, or else they're throwing away their vote. And then those two parties are aligning on the matters that they want to implement. They're these things that they want to get done and they want to enforce on us no matter what, they align on. And then they keep us all divided by disagreeing about personal moral issues that individuals can only decide for themselves. Things like abortion and cannabis legalization and vaccines. These are all things that individuals need to make as a choice. And we need to organize ourselves based on these personal choices. We cannot continue to make blanket laws over all of us because it's what we agree with. No, it's things like not murdering one another or people countries across the seas and for themselves and others. That's what we need to unify on together. These are the things that we agree upon and make happen as a community. Whereas whether or not someone has an abortion for whatever case scenario they're facing, that needs to be decided by that individual person, and no one has the right to decide that.
They're micromanaging.
It's like we're not mature enough to, and you know what? We're being raised not to be mature enough to manage our own lives.
Yeah, we don't value wisdom at all.
It's coming true. Everything that they're micromanaging us over, all their warning of us not being able to manage, it's all coming true because we're allowing them to take responsibility and our accountability. We're giving it over to them so that we don't have to face the consequences, or at least we feel like we don't have to face consequences. But the truth, no matter who makes the decision, when it affects you or me, we're the ones.
Yes. Tired of paying for other people's crimes.
Right. When you make a blanket law because of a few bad apples, bad seeds, bad choices that people have made, maybe even choices that those people have learned from, then you're preventing everyone else from having, the opportunity to learn that lesson themselves, or the opportunity to see that lesson in play.
It's like so shitty because it's like people develop random allergies to shit too. So like if you're allergic to the vaccine, then what? You know what I mean? So you have to get it anyway. Otherwise, your doctor could potentially lose their license because a board of human medical professionals decides this person's fate, whether it agrees with whatever their agenda happens to be at the moment. Like that's such bullshit, dude. Like that's drug pin shit. You know what I mean? Like that's
it's a slippery slope.
Yeah, it's drug pushing. Like that's not fair.
And this is how we really relinquish ourselves from any control of our own lives. We can't even rely on the professionals that we put in place and do their jobs efficaciously, and we need some kind of government regulation board overseeing the professionals in their industry. And the decisions become so far detached from our own that we're like just fascist automatons operating on provocation.
Yeah, you don't even have the right to your own medical care now. Like,
right.
And
right.
You know your body. You know what's right for you. Not fair at all.
We should be able to choose our own doctors.
And feel okay about it.
What is an insurance even for?
Like, I'm tired of living in a constant state of fear from all directions.
Yeah, air, food, water, media.
Security.
I mean, we talked a little bit about how they're altering our media and how the alteration of our media.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many more ways can you feel attacked? Like you're pushed into a corner like an animal with its back against a wall. Start behaving like one.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about any individual in particular. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about humanity. I'm talking about the human species as a whole. We have cornered ourselves. An animal with its back against the wall. And that's why we're seeing the lashing out at us. This is why we're seeing the illnesses, the social illnesses, and the self-inflicting violences. This is why people cut themselves and experience depression and shoot at each other aimlessly. I mean, if these shooters were shooting up government offices or police stations or, somewhere where this oppression and this bullying is really coming down from, then maybe a difference might be being made, but people are just reacting to their most immediate consequences. And I think that children are being bullied by their parents and by their most immediate authorities, and that's why they're bullying each other. And I think that the adult authorities in these children's lives are bullying children and each other because this is what's being done at the highest levels of government and authority.
It's all cyclical.
When we're letting people like Trump and Putin and this Korean this bullshit going in China with Hong Kong, when we're allowing these people to push the California governor signing on without majority support. This is the kind of shit that's going to push humanity to a worldwide rebellion where we take the power back in our hands. And maybe we do take a few steps back. But if it takes taking a few steps back to take steps forward without walking off the edge of a cliff, we better fucking do it.
That's the thing, is we've crossed the starting line for globalization. Unfortunately, everything has been kind of founded on genocide and slavery, but now, you know, we're at a turning of the leaf, and we get to decide what global culture we're gonna really invest in. And it's just like any sickness, you know, it's acid, and we really just need to find what it is that we need to change to create more of this alkaline. Like sugar is acidic, but it also feeds bacteria, you know, that create yeast and bacteria and probiotics. It's like there's a challenge, you know, but we've really set ourselves up to, you know, succeed.
Well, it's just a matter of doing the work. We all need to move in a positive direction. We all need to start working together. We need to stop pointing fingers at each other, you know, and we really need to look at the bigger picture, because, you know, if an asteroid hits us today, your social political things don't matter.
Terrestrials, and we're divided amongst each other. How are we ever going to defend our planet from a foreign invader?
Things like that. Exactly.
There are these global issues to line on.
Yeah. I know what's right and what's wrong. You know, basic core things.
We hope
so. Well,
there's always those people, but I
yeah.
think the majority of people can feel in the heart if they really desire to. And I know there's some people who have some chemical imbalances, and it's hard to get in touch with these places. But I think that if get in touch with these places, do so, and we set this example, then it can only make it easier for others who struggle to be able to get in touch with those places in themselves.
Well, and just operate with a level of integrity, you know, so that way your morals are unshaken, you know, and kindness. Just rule with kindness, understanding, learn things outside of yourself and your own human drama. You know, be outside of yourself, be present.
I took this human sexuality class. It was psychology of human sexuality with Patrick Occhiato at Pasadena City College. And he taught me something that I'll never forget. Things I learned from him, there's one I will always remember and pass on, and that is the difference between being kind and being nice. Being nice is just telling people what they want to hear.
Yeah, you go through the motions.
And it doesn't really make any progress besides getting through a moment. But being kind is telling someone the truth with their feelings and their perspective and consideration as you would want someone to have yours. And I feel like
being nice is so super passive.
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy, but being kind takes work.
Yeah.
And it takes effort and honesty. And it puts you out there. It exposes you. It opens you up. It makes you, because honesty does that. It lets people know who you are. And when you're not honest, people don't know who you are, so they can't really be all that honest with you. But Amber was really touching on something about how we've gotten to where we are and how that will lead us to reap the consequences of how we got here. And, you know, that is this Pluto return.
For America, yeah, 1776, so Pluto's done its full cycle. And now we're coming up on our Pluto return this year.
I'm no astrologer. We're no professional astrologers. But if you do follow astrology at all and you understand for this nation to have its Pluto return the way that it has become what it is, you should all really understand what we're all in for and what this Pluto return has in store and is going to bring. and it will help you understand why things are going the way that they are.
Right, we're definitely sowing our seeds now. You know, they've grown, and we're harvesting, and now we're going to eat them and see how that affects us. You know, it's why there is a lot of sickness right now.
So I just want to get back to a couple things that I had brought up earlier before we'd been interrupted by the internet. I hope that you all go check out the Eddie Lepp Show with Damon Bates. The episode 2 is either coming out or just released, but episode 1 is out and available to you. I also encourage everyone to take action against the vaccine bill and do what you can to stop. And I also want to, I haven't done this in any of the episodes yet, but I'd like to encourage people to come see what else we're doing, because we are doing a lot. And the Cups and Bowls show is something new, and it's something experimental, and a lot of the other stuff that we're doing is a lot more solid and is a little bit different. Like I said, we went to Tahoe, and we did some drone flying and captured some really cool footage. So if you go to a FOSAD FPV on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube now, me as I fly my cinema drone, my and the racing drones, the FPV quads that I build myself, as well as Ratchet FPV, which is Amber's drone flying, and she really loves flying her Emax Baby Hawk. She's getting really, really good. She's starting to fly without any computer assistance in like the free mode, and so I'm really excited to build a drone with her and get her flying something a little bit bigger.
Those are fun videos.
Oh,
Like
it's so fun.
You love it.
You really get the sensation you're flying.
Yeah, it's fun.
And if you want to check out the art that we were talking about earlier, some of our botanical mandala, they're available on Facebook, on Marketplace, as well as at Banco Gallery in South Lake Tahoe. And you can check out on Facebook, JP Fosad, that's our artist profile, or you can go to Fosad on Instagram and on YouTube, and you can check out lots of videos. That's kind of our general all-around profile is Fosad 5150. It's a little bit of everything that we do. And I really, really encourage everyone to go follow JP Fosad on YouTube, because part of the goal of this show is to reach enough subscribers on our JP Fosad YouTube account to be able to start live streaming to YouTube as well. We have a lot in store for you guys. We've been working on a whole lot. There's a lot to come and a whole lot that we have to work on to bring to you. And so if you guys could really help us out and just rates us when people like and share our content and subscribe and follow our different profiles. I know we're spread so wide across social media. Whatever you have, whether it's Twitter or Tumblr or Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or SoundCloud, we're on all of these things. And, a lot of our tags and our handles are really similar. So, whatever is your cup of tea, whatever is your bowl of cannabis, whatever is your cup of coffee, find it, do it, and go check out what we're doing, because we're probably doing it too. You all on the next Cups and Bowls show. We're glad that those of you who got to join us here in San Francisco with our special guest Mo. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you guys look forward to our next show, as we look forward to doing another one and having all you tune in. And it'll probably be from home next time, but we look forward to also going back out on the road and talking to all you people out there that we love. We love to talk to you, and we love for you to talk to us. And so, something that you have to say, even if there's something that you have to say with us, we'd love to have more special guests on our show, like Mo here. We'd love to come have our show from wherever you are, as long as you got some internet, because it's what we need to broadcast the show live. We look forward to hearing from you. If there's something you want us to talk about or bring up, if there's something you want us to have on our show and talk about, send it to us. As long as it's not going to get us in trouble. If it is, you. And we'll talk about and show your product on the show where you're at so that you can get in trouble if it comes down to it. But yeah, dude, we're totally down to come experiment with the show with you, because it's not just about us, it's about you. We're just doing the thing so that you can do your thing too. Peace out from the Cups and Bowls show.
Cheers.